I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another player review and a player that you can no longer get. So what is the point? Well, I didn't see the point in going to level 30 to pick up this card on 2 of my 3 accounts. Why have I got 3 accounts? Long story. But as soon as the game's nearly done, well, thereabouts anyway, we could just gloss over it. I won't be doing this next year, that's for damn sure. I think I'm just going to have 1 account and just do everything on the one. But either way, I got to level 30 on the account I play most on, and it wasn't through striving to get there, it just happened. And obviously I chose Gabriel Jesus because I thought, well, if I ever do make a video, it'll be on this guy. I only got it a couple of days before the end, so there was no point doing a review quick, you need to get all the points you can, sort of thing. So I thought, I'll just leave it, and I'll try him at some point, or throw him into an SBC. And I put him into a team with Paul Pogba, David Luiz, and a couple of other cards, Dan James as well. And I've been playing with him, and I tell you what, if you haven't done this, and obviously it's too late to do it now, you missed out on a really good card. I'm not saying you've missed out on the best striker in FIFA, that's not even remotely close of a statement, but he is a very good card, and his stats, even though they are decent and good, very good in some places, in other places you think, well, you know what, I don't mind that I didn't do it. Average body type, high defensive work rate, only the 3-star weak foot, doesn't have much in the way of passing, his strength isn't great, his long shot power is a bit off. You know, all in all, I'm not really that bothered that I've missed out, but I think the people who didn't do it even though they knew they could, or didn't do it because they couldn't be bothered, are gonna, well, they won't kick themselves they won't kick themselves, not in anything in particular, they won't kick themselves, but I feel like you've missed out a little bit on what is a decent card. He does have a 4-star skills, he does have a high attacking work rate, and then, of course, 96 acceleration, 91 sprint speed, 99 agility and balance, 93 for reactions and ball control, 95 dribbling, only the 89 composure. I say only, as if that's a terrible stat and you should discard him because he doesn't have 90 plus composure, but you get what I mean. Any card that comes out these days that doesn't have 90 for nearly everything is basically classed as not a great card. On paper at least, 95 positioning, 93 finishing, 86 shot power, which is okay. I would have much preferred that to be higher. 81 long shots, 80 volleys, 86 penalties, poor passing really in my opinion, 86 short passing and 87 vision. And I say poor, it's not like bad, but compared to some other players out there, that isn't particularly high and is definitely in my opinion part of the negative aspect of the card. And then, of course, the physicals, 94 stamina, which is great, 83 aggression, which is decent. Obviously, again, like most things, could be higher, but not the end of the world. 71 strength. To be fair, I'm not that bothered. I think most cards like this will have poor strength or lowish strength. 71 is better than Mertens' strength, for example. And Mertens, in my opinion, the flashback version, is one of the best cards in the game. So I'm really not that concerned with his strength. All in all, reading the stats, as I said toward the beginning, and that's the team we had him in, which is a very good team, by the way. And not that something I've really just noticed. I have noticed it before, but more and more now, as I've packed Hullet, and on my other account I have that R9. Not that that's a flex in any way. I've just been really lucky. But when you go into games now with that team, or the team that I have on my other account, or even sometimes on Road to Glory, but not quite because these two have really big icons on them, I noticed that even if I go 2 or 3-0 up, when I concede, my opponent will watch all the replays, celebrate in my face and shush me, purely because his team isn't quite as good. Maybe it is, but maybe it's because I have that Hullet or the R9. I'm noticing more and more now with those cards in the team, and I just don't understand. Just because someone has a better team than you doesn't mean they're a better player. It doesn't mean they claim to be a better player. I don't necessarily claim to be a good player in this game. I enjoy the game when the gameplay works. It hasn't this weekend. It's been absolutely horrendous. This in particular felt really slow and sluggish. And I don't know whether that was due to the fact that it was a weekend or due to the fact that some of the players I was using, Paul Pogba, were really slow and sluggish anyway. Like, Paul Pogba reviews on the channel, but if you just want a very quick explanation, he's so clunky. He's so slow. Like, he has an awful lot of like good stats in the right areas, but he's just really slow. And then you give the ball to Gabriel Jesus, who can do skills for days. He can run rings around defenders. He is actually a very, very good player. And I like using him a lot. And that is something that I think is the reason why he's such a fun and usable card. It's the agility and the pace, and then he has really good finishing. But more than that, there is something about him that just doesn't come across in terms of stats. He is just very good. And I noticed it yesterday when I was playing with him, because I haven't obviously really played with him before. I was reviewing Paul Pogba, decided to do a video on David Luiz because he impressed me when I was using him. A little bit late to the party, but still, I thought I'd give it a go. And then when using Gabriel Jesus up front, obviously just giving him a run out before I maybe throw him into an SBC or something, he actually really surprised me. Like, he was always in the right place. His finishing was, again, very surprising. Given the shot power being as low as it is, I mean, I say as low, 86 isn't low, but you know what I mean, it's low enough, right? So given the fact that the shot power was that low, compared to some of his like sort of competitors, if you will, some of the players that missed out on a position in the team for Jesus, for instance, Mbappe. You know, I dropped Mbappe for the purpose of this, dropped a few other players as well for the purpose of using Jesus. But it didn't let me down. I was surprised because I thought, well, okay, he's going to have the accuracy, but he's going to lack the conviction behind most of his shots. But, you know, he troubled the goalkeeper all the time. Now, there is something else I want to talk about, and it doesn't really... I mean, it does obviously include Jesus, but it's sort of a broad spectrum of things, really. Chip shot and flare shot, they're okay. I mean, as for traits go, I mean, outside the foot shot trait would have been really good for someone with 3-star weak foot, and we'll talk about that in a minute, because the negative aspects of the card realistically are just going to be the fact that he has a 3-star weak foot. The high defensive work rate can drag him back into the midfield a fair bit, and then his passing isn't fantastic, although he does have a dead eye on him, which does help a lot. But before we get into that, just for a minute, this card needed to be higher rated than it is. The fact that this was an end-of-season card that would have taken the majority, if not everyone, well, no, it's not everyone, but the majority of people, it would have taken them the best part of 4 weeks to complete. Like myself, I only completed it with a couple of days to go, had to do a couple of objectives to make sure that I got over the line, and then on my other accounts, I think I barely got over halfway. And that's because I don't play enough on those accounts. I'm just not going after the cards. The reason I'm not going after the season pass and the cards is because they're not good enough. On paper, this is one of those cards that it's like, yeah, wouldn't mind having it and trying it out, but I don't really care because it's not like, wow, I need to play with him, look how good those stats are. That's why a lot of people didn't pick this card up. And that's why a lot of people are going to miss out on what I think is a very fun card. If you're a Man City fan, chances are you went for it, and you probably have it, and you've used him, and you realise, actually, yeah, this is a good card. But those of you who didn't really care too much because you already had 95 Mertens or Ribery or whatever the player that you're using up top is, you've probably not done this, and now you're probably sat there thinking, oh, well, yeah, it would have been nice to have him, but he just wasn't high enough rated. If EA made this card 93, 94 rated, everyone would have gone for it. Everyone would have made a point of going for it because it would have been, on paper, unbelievably good and well worth the grind. And then when they used him, it would have been phenomenal. And that's the problem. They need to be making cards higher, because even now in the season pass or season objective, whatever you want to call it, we're not going to get those cards till the end of August, and that's basically game over. And the cards still, they're not even, if they gave them to me now, they still wouldn't get into my team. They're still not good enough even now. So in 4 weeks, if EA decide to do a few more promos after Summer Heat, I dread to think what the state of those cards will be like compared to the cards that EA are releasing. So that's just a quick 2 cents. Like I said, the weaknesses on this card, 3-star weak foot, no outside the foot shot trait, that is going to, I would say, alienate him from a lot of people's teams. You're not going to want to use him strictly for that. I think he's more than capable of going into people's starting 11. I wouldn't dismiss him just because he has a 3-star weak foot and a few of the other stats are sort of off. If you give him a Deadeye Chem style, you bump up the short passing to 96, you get 97 vision, you turn him into a 95 rated centre forward, and you have a clinical striker with 96 shot power. If you can look past the weak foot, it's a very good card and very fun to use. If you've picked him up but haven't tried him, give him a go. Let me know what you think. If you haven't done him and now regret not doing him, let me know. And of course, if you have done him, let me know that as well in the comments. If you have enjoyed this video, do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.